Welcome to Trending Unpacked, the show where viral stories meet everyday curiosity. If you've opened, I don't know, any social platform recently, TikTok, Instagram, maybe X your feed is probably this vibrant, chaotic collision of high glamour and, well, high-stakes politics.
Yeah, you can't miss it.
Exactly. We are talking about the global spectacle that is Miss Universe 2025. 1 second, you're stopping to watch a dazzling national costume reveal. A clip's so stunning, it just rockets past 10 million views. And then the next, you are like neck deep in an intense online fandom war. It's being played out in multiple languages with people arguing about a contestant's walk or her answer from a preliminary interview.
It really captures the moment we're living in, doesn't it? This event, it isn't just a traditional broadcast anymore. It's a nonstop 24/7 digital event.
Completely.
And the global energy driving Miss Universe is this perfect blend of, genuine national pride, this intense competitive spirit, stunning visual artistry, and maybe most importantly, these serious discussions about major groundbreaking rule changes that are redefining the whole competition.
The content flow is just relentless. We have the gowns, the walk previews, the behind-the-scenes glimpses, and these high-stakes prediction threads. It just completely dominates global feeds for weeks.
It really does.
It's this massive international contest just colliding head-on with these hyper-local yet globally connected, passionate online fan communities.
And that intersection is, well, it's precisely what makes it such a perfect topic for us. We've collected sources that try to dissect this really complex phenomenon.
So what's our mission today?
I think our mission is to understand why, here in the 2020s, beauty pageants, and specifically Miss Universe, remain such powerful cultural flashpoints. We need to analyze the big organizational updates around inclusivity and what they truly signify for the future of the competition, and I think for evolving global standards of identity and empowerment.
Okay, let's unpack this properly. We should probably start with the context, especially for people who might only see the viral clips. We are talking about Miss Universe 2025. Let's maybe define the global scale we're dealing with here.
Right. So we are looking at Miss Universe, or MU, as a lot of fans call it, which is arguably the world's most recognized and longest-running international beauty pageant. And while it might sometimes feel like a niche topic in certain Western media, its scope is truly vast. It's global.
And when you say vast, you mean in terms of participation, right? The number of countries that are just so invested in the outcome.
Exactly. The scale is immense. Our sources indicate that Miss Universe 2025 will feature contestants representing, well over 70 to 90 countries.
Wow.
Yeah, that number fluctuates a bit, depending on last-minute national participation. But the sheer breadth of cultural representation on that one stage is unrivaled by almost any other non-sporting competition. It's like running a small, focused international conference, just with much, much better lighting.
Structurally, though, the competition still relies on those four iconic pillars, right? Even if the substance inside them is changing.
That's right. The competition demands excellence across several specific traditional categories. We start with the national costume segment, which has increasingly become the most shareable and visually arresting component. It's often a key promotional moment.
That's what I see first, every single time. The costumes.
Of course. They're made for it. Then you move into the crucial interview portion, which gauges advocacy and communication skills, followed by the evening gown presentation, and of course the high-stakes final question and answer round.
And that's the one that really makes or breaks it, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. That last segment often determines the winner. It's testing their ability to think quickly and articulate some really complex views under just extreme pressure.
But beyond the internal competition, we have to recognize the external weight the event carries. The logistical and economic impact, especially for the host city, is huge.
It's enormous. I mean, the selection of the host location itself is a significant geopolitical and economic decision. Hosting Miss Universe is treated by governments and tourism boards with the gravity of securing a major international summit or maybe a niche sporting championship.
So we're talking about a massive influx of media attention, celebrity visits.
And, critically, significant tourism revenue. That's driven by fan travel and, of course, the global broadcast coverage. It's a huge deal.
So it's a piece of soft power, then. It's an opportunity for a country to showcase its stability, its culture, and its modernity on a global stage, unfiltered by, traditional political narratives.
That's a perfect way to put it.
Are there specific countries that have historically leveraged this?
Absolutely. Countries in Latin America and Southeast Asia where pageantry is culturally paramount, they often bid very aggressively. For example, when a country like Thailand or El Salvador hosts, the national government often supports the logistical infrastructure. They view it as a direct investment in global branding.
So the return on investment is there.
They believe so. The global visibility it buys for their local textiles, their fashion, their destinations, it often yields a return that far exceeds the initial investment. You could say it's an exercise in cultural diplomacy, just masked as entertainment.
That sets the background perfectly.
Ah.
But the reason MU 2025 is trending so intensely, beyond the usual incredible costumes, is this revolutionary wave of rule updates. This is the organizational pivot that everyone is watching.
It is a seismic shift in eligibility criteria, a huge one. And it's one that the organization has explicitly framed as an alignment with contemporary ideas of female empowerment.
Right.
Historically, Miss Universe has demanded that contestants be single and childless. That era is definitively over.
We have to pause on that for a moment, that historical context. Why were those rules even in place to begin with, and how does that contrast with the new mandate?
Well, the historical rationale was rooted in a very narrow, very restrictive ideal of womanhood. It often emphasized, availability, a certain kind of purity, and a specific age bracket representing the peak of youthful beauty before domestic roles were expected to take over.
So the crown represented an idealized, unencumbered global ambassador.
Exactly. The old rules demanded exclusivity. The winner's focus had to be solely on her year of service. No distraction.
And now, what are the specific changes? Who is allowed to compete now? The major updates are very explicit. Married women and mothers are now fully eligible to compete, full stop. Furthermore, the organization has broadened the eligible age range, acknowledging that women's peak influence and beauty extend far beyond their early 20s. That's a profound institutional acknowledgement, isn't it? That experience, maturity, roles like motherhood, they're now seen as assets, not liabilities.
Assets to advocacy, not liabilities to service. That's the key. It's a total reversal of the old logic.
And this policy change, it clearly reflects broader cultural movements globally, right? Specifically, the changing interpretations of empowerment. How are the new contestants reflecting this?
They are immediately leveraging it. Our sources show that contestants who are mothers or married women are often championing platforms that demand a deeper level of lived experience.
Could you give an example?
Sure. A mother might focus her advocacy on, say, early childhood education reform or postpartum health or the struggle of balancing a career and a family. These are topics that a younger, unmarried contestant might only be able to address theoretically.
Which adds a lot of weight.
A significant amount of weight and authenticity to the winner's future humanitarian work. It's transforming the criteria from potential to proven capacity. That's a critical distinction. Moving from representing an ideal to representing lived experience. Okay, let's dive into the core engine of virality here, the online ecosystem. Why does this event become such a virality machine, specifically in 2025? The online engine, I think, thrives on two things: spectacle and tribalism. The visually stunning elements, like the national costume and evening gown previews, are crafted for maximum shareability. They're basically high-production mini-movies designed to stop you from scrolling.
But the spectacle is amplified exponentially by the sheer power of these regional fandoms. These aren't just casual viewers. This is an organized, passionate, and highly competitive global community.
And that's where the tribalism comes in. We see these strong, often competing fan communities driving massive viewership and engagement, particularly in Southeast Asia and Latin America.
What are the key regions?
Well, you have the Philippines, Thailand, Indonesia, and across Central and South America, India as well. These communities treat the competition with the intensity of, like, a World Cup final. It's that serious.
And their activity isn't just passive viewing, right? I mean, they're generating content that sustains this visibility loop.
Crucially, yes, fan-made content is what gives MU its longevity on the trending page. This includes, clip compilations set to dramatic, high-energy music, detailed analysis videos.
All the TikTok edits.
Exactly, and the official behind-the-scenes content that fans then take, re-edit, and recirculate. This loop of official release, fan engagement, and then recirculation ensures constant visibility. It pushes the competition way beyond the traditional 4 hours of a live broadcast.
I'm curious about the specific reason for the heightened anticipation this year. Is it just the rule changes, or is there some lingering tension from previous events?
I think it's both. The anticipation for Temple 25 is definitely heightened. We have to acknowledge the controversies from last year.
What happened?
Well, one significant flashpoint was the ownership change and then some very public internal disagreements, which kept the organization in the news long after the crowning. But more specifically, there were intense debates online about alleged judging anomalies and even technical malfunctions during the voting rounds in the previous year.
So the digital audience is coming into 2025 with an elevated level of scrutiny. They're looking for any sign of unfairness or strategic favoring.
Precisely. The new leadership decisions, especially the inclusivity changes, are being viewed through the lens of those past controversies. Fans are now hyper-analyzing how these new rules will be reflected in the final selection. They're scrutinizing every preliminary judge's decision to see if the organization is truly committed to this promise of diversity and modern empowerment. If we zoom out for a moment, let's address that core cultural question. Why, despite evolving social norms that often critique pageantry as, outdated, do these events still hold such deep cultural weight, particularly in those regions you mentioned? It really comes down to representation and aspiration. In many countries, pageants remain profoundly significant cultural events because they represent a direct avenue for national celebration and global recognition. They symbolize national aspiration.
So the contestant becomes this symbolic vessel carrying the weight of the nation's perceived beauty, grace, and modern ambition onto that international platform.
It's so much more than just surface-level beauty. It's a symbolic form of cultural victory. Winning Miss Universe provides a profound sense of collective pride. In a world where global news is often dominated by political or economic conflict, a pageant win offers a purely positive, merit-based global headline.
A moment of good news.
Exactly. It provides a temporary but powerful boost to the national psyche and global reputation, and it's all validated by a recognized international platform. That framing really makes sense of the intensity. Okay, now let's enter the true digital arena, the online theories and cultural interpretations. This is where the factual competition meets the subjective, often emotional world of fandom, and the shift is dramatic. Online, the event moves from a televised competition to a competitive, opinion-driven arena where facts blend seamlessly with speculation.
And the first battle lines are always drawn over the predictions.
Yeah.
Every creator, every dedicated fan account seems to have a high-stakes, highly defensive top 5 list.
These fan top 5 predictions lists are essentially high-octane fan fiction. They are specifically crafted not just to predict, but to provoke.
To start arguments.
Absolutely. They are the primary catalyst fueling these intense national fandom rivalries. A list that excludes a strong candidate from a rival nation, say, a fierce competitor from the Philippines, being omitted by a tie fan can trigger comment section conflicts that last for days. It's like arguing over intellectual property rights for hypothetical beauty queen rankings.
And naturally, this intense nationalism breeds conspiracy theories. What kind of theories are dominating the trending threads this year?
They're mostly centered on perceived systemic bias. The most common theory suggests that certain countries might have strategic advantages.
How so?
Well, it stems from the history of winners. If a country has secured multiple recent titles, fans of rival nations might suggest the organization is intentionally trying to balance the geographical distribution of crowns.
Or the opposite.
Or, conversely, that the organization is favoring consistently high-performing countries for market reasons, to sell more merchandise or secure better broadcast deals in that region.
So the drama isn't just about who looks best, but who the judges are told to select, based on internal politics or some marketing strategy.
Exactly. These theories argue that the outcome is, to some extent, predetermined to maximize marketability or global reach. Now, they often lack concrete evidence, but the theories are crucial for generating engagement because they introduce a layer of mystery and the perception of an unfair fight, which is just irresistible to online commentators.
Okay, let's talk about the hyper-analysis of performance. Thanks to digital platforms, fans are basically acting as self-appointed judges, dissecting every single movement.
This is where the term pasarela becomes essential.
Pasarela?
Yes. It's a Spanish term widely adopted in the global pageant community, particularly in Latin America and the Philippines. It refers specifically to the contestants' stage presence, runway walk, and overall performance projection.
So it's not just walking.
Oh no, it is the confidence, the gown handling, the posture, and the theatrical delivery of the entire moment. It's an art form.
It's the technical execution of grace under pressure. And TikTok edits are focused entirely on this.
They are. Viral edits are dedicated solely to comparing and contrasting pasarela. Viewers will slow down clips, critique micro-movements from the angle of the foot to the fluidity of the hip movement to the quality of eye contact and smile projection.
That is an incredible level of detail.
It is. A good pasarela means the contestant commands the stage. A bad one is often critiqued as tentative or lacking energy, and that can create instant viral criticism.
This level of detailed scrutiny seems to coincide with a major theoretical shift in evaluation. There's this palpable feeling online that the organization is shifting criteria away from pure aesthetic performance and more toward an advocacy-driven model.
That discussion is extremely active online, with the inclusion of women with deeper life experiences, the mothers, the married women. There is an expectation that the scoring must now weigh advocacy and platform depth more heavily than ever before.
What does that mean for the winner?
Well, this speculation suggests the new winner must be an eloquent, experienced, and effective champion for global issues, which could potentially require less focus on the traditional runway metrics like pasarela.
And this perceived shift invariably leads back to those debates about fairness in judging rumors.
Absolutely. Whenever criteria are vague or changing, rumors just fill the vacuum. There is constant social media chatter detailing rumored scoring system changes. For instance, suggestions that the preliminary interview score will now carry 50% of the weight instead of 30.
Which creates a whole new strategic debate.
It does. If the rules are changing to favor advocacy, are the traditional pageant training schools, which focus so heavily on passerella, now at a strategic disadvantage? The debate around fairness is simply heightened scrutiny of the organization's transparency. This brings us to a really critical tension point: the question of influence. Social media has transformed the pageant into this interactive, audience-driven event. It's fundamentally changed the traditional passive viewing experience. The audience feels like they're part of the process, not just spectators. Fan votes, which exist in various forms, give audiences a direct stake. But more importantly, the ability to trend a contestant to make her viral is perceived as a form of audience power that the organization just can't ignore, which raises the truly critical debate being posed online. Should social media sentiment influence the judging panel, or should the judges remain totally insulated, strictly adhering to their predefined metrics? This is the core ethical and logistical tension of the modern pageant. If a contestant is wildly popular online, has millions of followers, and dominates the trending visibility, yet the judges select a dark horse with less social presence,
There's immediate backlash.
immediate global backlash. They risk alienating the vast digital audience that now provides the competition's primary revenue, and you could argue its cultural relevance.
It becomes a balancing act between expertise and democracy, essentially. The judges are the experts, but the audience is the market.
Exactly. The debate revolves around whether high engagement reflects actual quality of representation or just effective online marketing. Fans often argue that if a woman can mobilize millions online, she is inherently better suited to be a global representative. Judges, on the other hand, traditionally argue that selection should be based on a balanced evaluation of poise, intelligence, and advocacy, regardless of platform followers.
Beyond the contestants, the audience also speculates about the production itself. There's chatter about potential major format updates in 2025.
Fans are constantly guessing how the new organizational rules will translate into the show's format. Will there be a new round focused specifically on advocacy presentations? Will the final question round be structured to explicitly test a mother's or a married woman's unique perspective? The online community is trying to reverse engineer the production based on this perceived strategic shift toward inclusivity. But amid all this speculation and rivalry, it's important to remember that all this chatter, the memes, the fan edits, the series commentary, it's all reflecting something larger: shifting beauty standards and modern interpretations of empowerment. It really functions as a cultural mirror. By engaging with these debates, by cheering for different body types, ages, and different life statuses, the audience and the organization are embracing a modern, more expansive definition of empowerment. The trending content isn't just about who is beautiful, it's about whose story resonates and who embodies the contemporary notion of an influential global woman.
That connection is key. Okay, let's shift into our analysis and try to connect these dots. When we look at Miss Universe 2025, why does a global competition like this still resonate so powerfully in a digitally fragmented world where our attention spans are supposedly shrinking?
It cuts through the noise because it's a single, centralized event that forces us to look outward. In a world fragmented by personalized content algorithms, Miss Universe provides a unified stage for cultural representation and, paradoxically, for global unity. It allows us to view diverse cultures, from Africa to Asia to the Americas, through a positive, entertaining, and high-production lens.
And this connects back to that concept of soft power. It's more than just tourism. It's a platform for serious global advocacy.
Significantly more. Contestants leverage the stage to champion serious advocacy topics, giving these issues unparalleled global visibility. Our sources cite platforms ranging from universal access to quality education, specific campaigns for women's reproductive rights and healthcare access, climate sustainability initiatives, and mental health awareness.
So the title is a tool.
The title provides a winner with a microphone that reaches potentially billions of people, turning a beauty queen into a genuine global public intellectual for a year.
Let's dive deeper into the psychology of nationalism in this fandom. Why does the competition become such an intense, sometimes aggressive display of national pride?
It's a powerful outlet for collective identity. When a nation's contestant performs well, it's interpreted as validation on the world stage, validation of their culture, their education system, their national aesthetics. For millions, particularly in these highly passionate regions, the competition is a benign proxy war.
A proxy war.
Yeah, they can't easily fight economic or political battles globally, but they can support their delegate fiercely in this arena. It's a safe space for that kind of nationalistic fervor.
So when we see a Filipino fan debating a Venezuelan fan about the elegance of an evening gown, they're engaging in a form of national honor defense, just using the specific metrics of pageantry.
That's exactly the emotional intensity driving it. It's about being seen as the best, the most graceful, the most articulate, and the most prepared on a world stage. It's a collective investment in that one delegate's success.
This leads us to synthesize why 2025 stands out as such a unique year in this long history of intense fandom and global competition.
2025 is really a nexus point of organizational revolution and digital hyper-scrutiny. It stands out because of the perfect storm created by the organizational changes, the increased inclusivity allowing mothers, married women, wider age ranges, which fundamentally alters the very definition of a potential winner.
And at the same time,
Simultaneously, this organizational evolution is being monitored, debated, amplified, and occasionally challenged by the most intense, sophisticated, and opinionated online fan culture the pageant has ever seen. The competition is literally evolving in real time under a digital microscope.
let's return to the idea of modern identity for a moment. The embrace of inclusivity. It doesn't just feel like a PR move. It feels like a necessary step for the organization to align with broader global cultural trends. It is an absolute necessity for relevance. The rule changes reflect the global movement away from rigid traditional constraints on female achievement. The message is pretty clear. A woman's voice, her potential, her ability to be an effective global representative are not diminished by her age, her marital status, or motherhood. In fact, they're enhanced.
In fact, these experiences are increasingly viewed as qualifications that enhance her capacity for empathy and advocacy.
So if we take a step back and analyze this entire trending wave, the spectacle, the rivalry, the debates on fairness, and the role of the modern woman, what is Miss Universe 2025 ultimately saying about modern standards of beauty, identity, and the pursuit of empowerment?
I think it's telling us that modern beauty is inherently complex and experienced. It's defined less by external metrics of youth and more by the interior qualities of resilience, advocacy, and wisdom gained through life's journey.
And what about identity?
Identity, in this context, is measured by effective global action and platform visibility, not by marital status. The Miss Universe 2025 spectacle is a vibrant cultural barometer. It's showing us where entertainment, national representation, and evolving social standards have all converged to redefine the global female archetype.
That is a phenomenal way to frame it. Miss Universe 2025 is clearly far more than a simple beauty pageant. It's a global nexus point reflecting how we debate, define, and celebrate identity in the digital age.
And the conversation and the competition are still ongoing, which means the next viral moment is probably just a scroll away.
Indeed. Thank you for helping us unpack the intense global energy surrounding the competition this year.
My pleasure. It was a lot of fun.
That was Trending Unpack's look at why Miss Universe 2025 has captured global attention and what the changing rules signify for modern identity. Next time on Trending Unpacked, we're breaking down the surprising virality of the 6-7 meme and why it has taken over social feeds everywhere. See you then.